This is Steve from Boxing UK in association with Supreme CBD. Delighted to be joined here in Newcastle, our home city. Adam, what brings you up here?
We are again, Steve. It's great to be back. It's fantastic. It's one of my favourite cities in the country, and I love it because of the passion of the people, the friendliness, the sport, and now everyone up here is really getting behind Savannah Marshall, which is fantastic. One of the stars of Hartlepool. She's now a superstar in the northeast, and I think she could be a huge figure in world boxing come the summer if she gets the big fight with Claressa Shields. Because she's got to get past Femke Hermans first on Saturday, and that's a difficult fight. She's good, Femke. She's full world champion, current European middleweight holder as well. Savannah knows a lot about her. Vice versa. They've been preparing for each other for about a year now, I think, because of COVID issues. So looking forward to Saturday night first, and Claressa will be there ringside. Let's see if there's a bit more fire afterwards, and if they're both if Savannah gets through and Claressa behaves herself, we've got a fight on.
Do you think Claressa will behave herself, Adam? Because last time in Cardiff, the Hartlepool in Savannah came out ringside, didn't it?
The Hartlepool definitely came out, didn't it? It's some people said to me they're really surprised, but I've known that there's a side to Savannah where if she's poked and if she's prodded, she will retaliate. She's a fighter deep down, and she always has been a fighter, and she believes that she's going to beat Claressa Shields. She's told me for 10 years that she beats Claressa Shields and that she won't be able to take her power. Claressa was unbelievable in Cardiff. She lit up the place with the big red slippers. She was magnetic to be around. She's a fantastic role model. It's a wonderful fight. It's a great fight. Arguably the fight of the year. I like Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano as well.
That's the question I was going to ask you, Adam. Which one is bigger?
I like both of them. I mean, Katie is a good friend of mine, and we've obviously, she was one of after Jane Couch in the early days, she was the pioneer of women's boxing for Sky. It was fantastic when Barney Francis and Eddie and I went with it, and Katie was unbelievable for Sky. And in Katie's footsteps came Terry Harper and Chantal Cameron and Savannah and Tasha and everyone else. So it's fantastic, and I think Katie and Amanda Serrano is a huge fight in New York. But this is going to be in the UK at prime time. Equally as good. It's a unification for all the belts. And what it's got the history. It's got the history that Claressa's only ever lost to one person, ever, and that's Savannah Marshall in the amateurs. Can she exact revenge in the pros? Or the pros suit Savannah, because she's punching seemingly harder than ever. So it's a fascinating one. They're very different characters. They've got very different styles, and it's going to be a magnificent night, and I hope to bring it to the northeast, Steve.
Brilliant. Obviously you say it's in the UK. What chance do you think it would be up here, Adam? Because you've been up here plenty of times with Lewis. This place would sell out and rock, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, I really want to bring it to Newcastle. I think that's a big thing. You know, Ben Shalom and I have worked together for 8-9 months now, and right at the beginning this was probably the first fight we talked about. He knew my history with Savannah. He knew how much I wanted to push female boxing, and he said, right, let's get Claressa Shields and let's see what we can do. And through Dimitri Salita and the excellent relationship we both have with Dimitri, we've managed to get Claressa, and it was a pleasure to have her performing, and not just on the night but all week in Cardiff. She was fantastic to be around. Michaela Mayer was over as well. It's just a great time for women's sport, and the two blockbusters this year with Katie and Amanda and Claressa and Savannah just go to show that we're right up there, and it's taken a while, but now we're there. And you see Caroline Dubois' blistering performance last week. We've got a great stable. We'll be adding to it, and I think it's very important that these fights are seen by as many people as possible, that they top bills, and that they're, if we can get them in Britain, all the best. Now, we know the one for Katie and Amanda's in New York. That's probably the right home for it because of Amanda Serrano, and also Katie obviously has a huge Irish support on the Eastern Seaboard. But I really want this fight in Newcastle. I think Claressa will be great going into the sort of lion's den, so to speak, and I think Savannah deserves it to be in the northeast. We haven't got a date and a venue yet. There are a few final details to be done, I think, once she gets through the Femke Hermans fight. But trust me, Steve, I'll be doing everything I can to bring it to the northeast.
You're a star. And will it be the next one, Adam?
100%. If she gets through against Femke Hermans, we're not hanging around.
Fantastic.
Claressa Savannah fight next.
Brilliant. Adam, we were at the Lewis Ritson show on Friday. it's a proper hotbed of boxing up here in the northeast again, not just currently but looking forward.
I miss Lewis, good lad, and his dad David.
He is they're a proper team. My friend Lewis, shout out.
Yeah.
And we talked to Probellum, and they said that they're not a company, they're a unit that's going to unify boxing. Is there any opportunities where we can have a real bump of northeast boxing card on, Adam, where Sky Boxer can work with Probellum?
I think that we're concentrating on what we do at the moment. We're building back from the days where Eddie was our promoter, and we had fantastic times with Matchroom. But all the fighters went to DAZN, and as you see, they've gone to other people. And I think that we concentrate on what we're doing, which is bringing the best we can to our Sky customers, which is why we've got 2 exclusive deals, one with Boxer and one with Top Rank. I was on the phone to Todd DeBurf about Devon Haney last night, and look, there's a huge amounts going on for Top Rank in the next 2 or 3 months. We've got some fantastic fight cards, now more so than Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez. Michaela Mayer fights next week. She's going to be joining us in the UK for commentary soon because she was fantastic in Cardiff. So there's a great relationship there with Top Rank. And with Boxer, we've worked with Wasserman, we're working with Dimitri, and we're just concentrating on what we can do, within our stable, and making sure that we develop it in the best possible way. We can't have a February every month. That was a fantastic time with all the big names, but we'll be getting the big names back, and in the meantime we'll be putting on very, very strong domestic shows like we did at Wembley and like we're doing on Saturday night.
Brilliant. Adam, I know you're dashing off. Can I rattle through a couple of heavyweight questions?
Of course.
Can we start with a sad question? Did you see Danny Williams was in action again? Just your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Danny's an old friend of mine, and go back a long way, and we had some fantastic times. But that was many, many years ago. The big upset of Mike Tyson, and I mean before that when he beat Mark Potter with one arm at Wembley. And it's not our duty to tell fighters when to retire, when to stop. People ask about Amir Khan, they're asking about all sorts, and it's up to fighters and their families to make that decision. It's their profession. They're not going to tell you to stop doing what you're doing, or me to stop doing what I'm doing. Or they might, but we've got a career, and I think that professionals have a career. But of course, from the outside, we worry about fighters. We want them to be have a lovely life after boxing, and hopefully, have kept their money and all of that side of it. We get very close to fighters, and Danny was someone I was pretty close to for a long time. I haven't seen him in a while. But no, it's a sad situation.
In the heavyweights, we've just spoken to Spencer Oliver. Obviously, he's in TalkSport. He was privileged to the Frank Warren and the lawyer conversation. Just your thoughts on that, Adam?
What with Dillian?
Yeah.
I think Dillian, obviously, and his team were unhappy at the deal. That's obvious. They're still getting paid a lot of money. And obviously if he wins and beats Tyson Fury, he can write his own checks. So, yeah, I'm sure there was some frustration on the white side. But also it's probably turning as well into slight mind games too. And is he going to turn up? Is he, what about Fury's mindset? All of that. I think the most important thing is that both of them are training extremely hard. Tyson Fury knows how dangerous Dillian Whyte is. Dillian Whyte knows what a tall order Tyson Fury is, and if he's going to become the WBC heavyweight champion, Dillian will have to bring everything to the ring and concentrate fully on camp, which I know he's doing. I missed seeing him at the press conference, but I'm looking forward to seeing him on Fight Week. He'll be there, and I hope it's a really great fight, because Dillian's been telling us for years that he deserves this opportunity, which he does. And although Fury will start a favourite, rightfully so, he's the man. Dillian Whyte is very dangerous, and if you can find a way to coach him onto that left hook, or even out tough him at times, it'll be very interesting. Tyson Fury has got such a skill set, a height and a reach advantage, and he's been in some thunderous battles, but you never know. It's a very, very interesting fight at Wembley in a few weeks' time, and I'm sure that if Dillian's annoyed, I'm sure he'll get his opportunity to do his talking in the ring. And as I said, if he can become world champion, it will all be forgotten, won't it?
It certainly will. Adam, we were looking to have a little chat with Alex Krasiuk yesterday.
Oh yeah. How is he? Good man.
He is. He's safe, which is the main thing with that awful situation.
Yeah.
He told us that training camp for Usyk's been prepared. So it's
Where's he
looking.
going?
All I was told is Europe for the camera. Obviously, so AJ Usyk. Is that coming to Sky, Adam? Can you give us any updates?
Well, first of all, the most important thing is the situation worldwide. You know, he went back to Ukraine like Vasily did, Vitaly and Vladimir. You know, boxing is a small business, a small fraternity. They're friends of ours, and first and foremost, you know, our thoughts are with them and their families. And it seemed to me that, you know, Vitaly sort of said, and quite a lot of the ministers, obviously Vitaly's the mayor of Kyiv, and a lot of the ministers said, you guys go out and sort of show Ukraine in a great light and spread the word and go back to your careers. And I think Vasily has decided to stay. Alexander has listened to that and is going to fight. So the rematch is going to happen. I hear it's the back end of June. And will it come to Sky? I've always said I believe Anthony Joshua started his career on Sky and he'll finish his career on Sky as a UK broadcaster. I think he's almost synonymous with us. I think we've done a great deal for him. I think he's done a great deal for us. I think it's a very good match, just like his match with Eddie and Matchman has been. So why change it? He's got a great UK platform, the best with Sky, and we're looking forward to not just, we're renegotiating at the moment, obviously it's a business, but we're looking forward to, you know, basically extending our relationship, not just sort of starting again.
Can I ask the $64 question?
I spoke to him last week. You know, it's never stopped. I mean, we're very close, but ultimately it is a business, and we have to make sure everything's right. But I'm still confident, like I've always said to you, that Anthony Joshua will continue to be a Sky fighter.
The $64,000 question, Adam, is why Sky and not DAZN? Because DAZN will say come to us because of XYZ. Why should AJ stay on Sky?
I'm not going to get into a sort of he says, she says battle with DAZN. You know, I've got friends over at DAZN. Joe Markowski's a great guy. They do some fantastic things. They've got a big stable with Matchroom. They're putting on great fights. You know, Conan Wood was one the other week. And, you know, they're bringing a lot of competition out there. As you mentioned earlier, there's masses of there's Channel 5 with Wasserman, BT and Frank have got plenty going on. It's huge amounts for customers and most importantly for fighters. Yeah. So that's the thing. I'm not going to get into, you know, what's better and what's worse, but I will say that we have, you know, that's obvious. We've got the biggest platform for sport in the UK. More importantly, I think we've got a great relationship with Anthony Joshua. So why would you want to change that when, you know, his brand, he's been an ambassador for us. He's grown because of us. Yeah. There's no question about that. And Eddie knows that's what happened to him and his stable when he was on Sky. There's obviously a lot of money floating around, and they're going to do what's best for them. It's a business, and I respect every fighter that goes in the ring, and they do what's right for them and their families to get to the end. And, you know, as we mentioned, the sort of post-career is so important, and you want to make sure that as many fighters are as happy as can be for the rest of their life, because it's a long time. You retire at 30, 35, you've got many years, you know, over half your life ahead of you again, and, you know, you've got to hope that they're in the best possible way, and everything is, you know, that they've got a structure and all the rest of it. So I just think that Anthony is a Sky fighter. I think that it works, the relationship. We've been there for his ups, most notably probably the Klitschko fight, or the Charles Martin win for his first world title, or probably the Klitschko fight, but we've been there for the downs as well. And, you know, when Matt and I pick up the mics, we call it as it is, and we lost to Andy Ruiz, and, you know, that's the way it is. That's, you know, you had a new Mexican heavyweight champion, and AJ had to rebuild. Just because he's our business partner doesn't mean that we don't call it as we see it. We call it absolutely as we see it, like we did with Alexander Usyk in September. He lost the fight and lost it comfortably, so he's got to go back and do the boxing side of it. But as far as the commercial side and the brand side, why would he want to be anywhere else apart from Sky? I don't have to sell it. I don't have to throw stones at the other side. Why do I do that? I love watching DAZN. They're doing some great things. They've got some great fights on. So have we. So have BT. Let's enjoy it while we've got it. It's great competition. But I tell you, Sky have been in it for 30 years, and we've proved in 6 to 9 months, and I thought this project would take longer, that we're already putting on some really enticing fight nights. And this is only the beginning. We've got some big announcements coming soon, some new additions to the stable, and we're going to keep, Ben and I are going to keep the stable select, and we're very excited about the future. But bring on the competition too, because it's great for the fighters.
Brilliant. Apologies if that came across as an opportunity to have a go at DAZN, Adam. It wasn't. It was more...
I won't do it anyway.
Yeah, it was more to promote Sky and what you can
Absolutely.
offer a fighter.
But listen, I believe in Sky. I've been at Sky 28 years. Yeah. You know, you cut me open and I'm Sky. I believe in what we've got. Sky Sports is a fantastic brand. It has been for many, many years. You know, it's synonymous with the biggest football, the biggest golf, the biggest cricket, everything, as well as the biggest fights. And we've been there for, you know, year on year. You know, the British board know that. The various promoters know that. Frank knows that. Eddie knows that. Everybody knows what we have done for boxing. So I don't like to sell it because it just sort of should speak for itself. We haven't gone anywhere. We're just going for a new phase, a new chapter, with two excellent new business partners in Ben Shalom and Todd DeBerth, in Boxer and Top Rank, with some fantastic new teams. I loved working with Matchroom. I will never throw stones at them because Frank and Eddie have been very, very close over the years. It was like a friendly divorce, and I can't wait to see them soon. I still work on the darts, which is Matchroom. But I'm very, very happy to be working with Boxer and Top Rank and building it's a challenge, isn't it? Yeah. Building a new business, and it is baby steps. It's not all going to come at once. We're not going to have all the fighters. We lost all the fighters that Matchroom took from us. So we're building back a stable. We've got Savannah headlining now. We've got a tournament in a couple of weeks. We've got Michaela Mayer coming in from the States, Shakur Stevens and Oscar Valdez. We're not doing badly, and I think that we'll be here for a very, very long time.
Great to hear, Adam. Two very quick ones. Any news on Saudi Arabia for AJ Usyk?
And I'm hearing what you're hearing. I'm not as involved in the negotiations. I was before I really pushed Tottenham for the Usyk fight first time around. I think it's an incredible stadium, and I work quite closely with Daniel Levy and his team to try and get Frank and Eddie and AJ to go to Spurs. It worked. We went there. I thought it was amazing. Obviously, it wasn't the result they wanted, Team Joshua, but an incredible venue, a fantastic one, and I'd love to have gone back there again. I think it would be brilliant if it was in the UK. If it's not, we go somewhere else. Money talks in this business, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I pushed for Spurs first time, and I pushed for Spurs again.
Brilliant. Last one, Adam. You're a Liverpool fan.
I am.
I'm an Everton fan.
I know. I can see the shirt.
What's going to happen at the end of the season, Adam?
I think you'll survive, and I think we'll win more than just the Carabao Cup that Ben and I and Tasha were lucky enough to be at the other week. It was a great night at Wembley. That was straight after Glasgow, so we were pretty tired, but we enjoyed the night, the penalty shootout. I think we'll win. I think we'll win another one, if not a couple. Quadruple. Listen, it's all still on. We've got to be perfect each and every time. I mean, that's a dream, isn't it? What a phenomenal dream that would be if we were at the Champions League final at the end of May, and maybe that's Man City, and it's Man City in the Cup, and it's crazy, isn't it? It's some crazy matches coming up.
Do you miss Tony Bellew putting rubbers in your cup?
I don't miss Tony. I miss Tony Bellew as a friend and a colleague. I don't miss him defacing my desk and my Liverpool paraphernalia at Sky. But he's a great guy, and he's a true blue. And you know, look, I think Lampard's gonna do a good job at Everton. And look, he needs the time, and it's been a tough start. But I think Everton will stay up, and I think Liverpool will win. So say more than the one. Let's see what we can. I'm not getting too far ahead of ourselves. We've got to be punch perfect to win the quadruple, which is a tough ask. But I tell you, I'll be a pretty happy man. Ben Shalom as a Liverpool fan will. Adam Azim as a Liverpool fan will. Tasha Jonas. I'm not saying we're signing all the Liverpool fans up, right? But there's a few in the stable that are Liverpool fans, so we're keeping the dream alive.
Good man. Adam Smith, I always appreciate your time. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.
Cheers. Bye now.